celebrating 15 years of this beloved foolery.
I did not know that Eric Cartman was coming to the studio today.
I can't fight this feeling anymore.
You sped me up. You sped me up.
I swear to God, I did not speed you up. I did not speed you up. This is exactly what you sounded like to the people listening in the listening audience.
It's time to bring this ship into the shore and throw away the oars forever.
Jeff and Jeremy in the morning on 93.3 KZOZ.
I'm looking at today's day, and today is National Administrative Professionals.
Yes, I know that because I have a meeting with a boss today at a local job here, and he said,
is he taking his secretary out for lunch?
He said, yeah, I could do that day, but I hope the administrative professionals aren't mad. And this was like weeks ago, and I was like, what, you're keeping track of Administrative Professionals Day? And he's like, yeah, because Google automatically puts it on the calendar when you book it, and I always look up to see what day it is. Yes, today is Administrative Professionals Day, which used to be known as Secretary's Day, but that was offensive to secretaries.
Yeah. Yes, but nobody likes being called a secretary, all right?
Why?
Just like you can't call a flight attendant a stewardess anymore.
When Hillary Clinton was Secretary of State, was she offended that she was not called the Administrative Professional of State?
That's a good question. No, probably not. But that is the highest, regard of a secretary.
Oh,
to be Secretary
I see.
Of State. So, yeah. I always thought. I remember my first interaction, my first experience with a secretary was in junior high, ASB, and went to an ASB meeting, and the secretary had to do all the work. Everybody else just sat around and gave.
I never understood why anybody ran for that job.
Terrible job.
Vula.
It was always the girl. It was always a girl that liked to take notes. At least at my school.
It was perfect. I guess it's a resume builder in the end. It looks good on when you're admitting to college or something. Yeah, it's like, I was ASB secretary. They're like, okay, well, this person could take notes. I guess they could go to our college.
We had Allison Walker. Really nice handwriting. Really bad speller. Really, really bad speller.
Is there something in the water out there where you went to school?
Shut up, Jeff. Jeez. Yes, there is something in the water. It's called, I don't know what it's called. I'm not bad speller except for when it comes to names. All right, that's my fault.
I really have to get you and my daughter in a spelling bee. My daughter's amazing me.
She could kick you. You're a worse speller than I am.
I'll tell you this. I might be a worse speller than her because she corrected me.
Well, if you're a worse speller than her, then I don't want to be involved. I don't care about spelling anymore. I do everything voice to text. Spelling is
you're the problem with society.
It's a lost art.
You're the problem with society. Just like
math and spelling.
And what suffers in the end? What suffers in the end? Every podcast is named Jeff and Jeremy. That's what it ends up doing. Every podcast is named Jeff and Jeremy because you don't want to have to spell the names right or the words right.
No, I was doing just fine until you were a jerk one day, and I said, "Screw you."
Yeah, exactly. The name of Jeff and Jeremy. I'll go ahead and half-ass it even more. Come on.
Well, it's better than full-ass.
Yeah, exactly. It's better than getting criticized on spelling and fixing my spelling prowess. Can't teach an old dog new tricks, right?
If you went to today's podcast, you jerk, you would see that I released it 55 minutes ago, and it says
Jeff and Jeremy.
Oh God,
it says Jeff and Jeremy.
It says.
There's a spelling error?
You gotta be kidding me! There's a spelling error. No, it says picked fries instead of pickled. Oh, it's a stupid keyboard I use. I swear to God. Mm-hmm. And it says picked fries instead of pickled.
You sound like a Twitter employee right now. It's always somebody else's fault.
I don't have time for this.
Right? Why don't you blame Elon Musk? Blame Elon Musk on your spelling prowess.
Just hate today.
Jeff and Jeremy in the morning on 93.3 KZOZ.
Jeff and Jeremy, hello, good morning. I'm telling you, math, spelling, writing, it's all a lost cause with computers nowadays. We're all using computers. We don't need to write cursive anymore. Mm-hmm. Print is very much more likely.
It's funny. I was just
computers fix everything for us. From writing to doing.
So this is what I wonder. Okay, this is what I wonder with you. Is it a time thing? Is it what is it where you are failing in your execution of properly spelling words? Now, do me a favor.
Are you talking about when we do the podcast?
Yes.
Okay, when we do the podcast, I'm just rushing through it.
Okay.
I have to edit the whole podcast together while we're doing the show.
Yes.
So I'm working on doing the show and doing that, and then I have to type. And and the thing is,
do me a favor.
A lot of times, what happens is the computer will change the phone. Louie.
Okay. See, on the podcast, you said swap meet Louie, Loui, and then
that's the computer changing it.
And then you did the semicolon.
Where's that at?
It's a semi.
Meet Louie. Louie spelled that way sometimes. Loui.
Sure.
It is. It's. I think it's the Chinese way of spelling it.
Well, they own us anyways, so I mean,
right,
I guess we're good.
Hi, who's this?
This is Brian. How we doing, guys?
Good.
We've had better days.
Hey, is spelling a lost art? Like to Jeremy, like most people just have forgotten how to do cursive.
Oh
yeah.
You know what?
Sure.
Like the sad thing about cursive is like I've really forgotten how to do it. Like my daughter was learning it in school, which I give the school kudos to that because I've heard a lot of schools aren't teaching that right now. And,
wow.
And she starts writing in cursive, and she starts asking me questions. She's like, "How do you do this?" And I was like, "I'm not sure." And then I went back and I started looking at my checks, and now my checks, I print them out too. Like I seriously cannot. Like I thought cursive would be something like riding a bike. You just remember to do it once you started up again. No, it's not. I've forgotten.
Well, hey, at least you don't have Charlene putting the marker on your thumb so she can put the thumbprint on the check.
That's supposed to mean you jackass.
Yeah, but I would
cursive, right?
I would like to have Charlene come around like, a couple hours after dinner when I have to go to the bathroom and do work, and then Jeremy could like call on her and say, "Hey, Charlene, need your help?" I mean, you make her pick up the dog poop. I mean, why wouldn't you make her?
I pick up dog poop as well. He's on a new diet. It's a lot better. It's a lot better to pick up.
Is he on keto?
No, he's not on keto.
You know what's sad, Brian? You say that. You say that, is spelling a lost art like cursive is. Like, I've forgotten how to do cursive. I really fear for society that in 30 to 40 years, because Jeremy's mindset of like, I do everything voice to text or something like that, we are going to just completely forget how to spell.
Yeah, it's weird, man. It's weird. I grew up in East Coast, New England, and cursive was it was pretty standardized. Like you get in trouble if you didn't know how to do it.
Yeah, if you weren't doing cursive after third grade, you would get in trouble. I remember that as a kid, and I went back to try and do it the other day, and nothing. I was like, I mean, I might as well have been writing with my left hand, and it was all thumbs because it was bad news, man.
It's crazy. Well, I'm glad that at least your daughter's learning it. You said she's in a private school, though, right?
Yes, she is. It's the higher institution of cursive writers.
Oh, I like that.
It's a very elite crew.
This conversation is so boring to me.
You're right, because you don't want to learn how to spell. I definitely know you don't know how to write in cursive.
All right.
You guys have a great day.
I forgot. I mean, come on. When do you use that crap?
No, I'm with you on that. The only thing I do is sign my name, and I do that horribly. The funny thing is, there's some things that you have to sign for your spouse sometimes, and say your spouse is not there. So then you have to try to sign your spouse's signature.
I can never. Shauna can do mine because it's very easy, but hers is impossible because she writes out her own name. It's ridiculous.
And you and I were coming up through the ranks, and we used to have to apply for jobs. You were in another location, and I would take care of the applying for the jobs process. I could do your signature very easy. You have a very replicable signature.
Why were you signing my name again for applying for a job?
What the?
Credit cards. I was applying for credit cards.
To turn a resume in, you don't need to sign anything.
On the cover letter, we had to put our signatures.
Sure you do. Yeah. Well, this isn't really from them if it doesn't have a signature on the cover letter. There's Pearl Jam and Jeff and Jeremy online, KZOZ.com. We've been talking about, math, spelling. Somehow we got on Cursive. Brett in the Tascadero wanted to weigh in. Go ahead, man.
Dude, I went to elementary school in the 60s.
Yeah.
And to try to get me to write in cursive, they punished me in all different ways, including I'd get paddlings. I'd get spankings.
Yeah.
With a wooden paddle.
What would happen if somebody paddled a kid today for not writing in cursive?
Me into writing in cursive.
How tall? I Brett, we know you. We've met you a couple times. You're a tall dude. Okay.
Yeah. I was a little tiny kid when I was a kid, though.
So you had a growth spurt later on in life.
Yeah, I did all my growing between my junior and senior year in high school.
Wow, that's insane, because I would have thought any paddle that was taken to you at past age 5 would have been broken.
No. And they make you grab your ankles so your balance is off, so you can't really do much. Yeah, I probably have a plaque somewhere at Pine Grove Elementary School as the kid that got the most paddlings.
All because your resistance to cursive. You held out, though, and you ended up having a good life.
For all different reasons. Most of my paddlings were like girls, like pulling up girls' skirts. All the girls wore dresses back then.
Flip Up Friday. I know. I remember.
Flip Up Friday.
See what's under there,
Thanks for the call, Brett. Have a great day.
Have a good one,
93.3 KZOZ rocks the 805.
Hashtag, this is why you don't smoke in airplanes. I don't know if you heard this news, but do you remember back in 2016, there was an Egypt airplane that went down the Mediterranean Sea? And
was that Flight 37 or 357? What year was this?
No, it was MS 804.
Oh, I do remember MS 804. Yes, I do.
Do you really?
I pay attention to these things.
Okay.
Yeah, well, because they get a little news coverage and then you get sucked in, and it's kind of like, how can they not find anything?
The final crash report was released yesterday. After investigating it for the last 6 years, they found and concluded that there was an explosion in the cockpit. What happened was the pilot lit a cigarette. There was oxygen leaking from an emergency mask compartment.
God.
Like,
you gotta be kidding
Think
me.
of all the emergency masks that are on planes and how many years they allowed smoking on planes. And I'm shocked that this never happened prior to this. Now, I think the oxygen is up front with the pilot because he's got to be able to do. But what are those masks that come down? Those just help you conserve your own oxygen?
No, there's oxygen flowing. They always say that. So even though the bag doesn't inflate, there's oxygen coming. So what happens is, that's in case the cabin depressurizes and there's no oxygen, because there's always, you're up in the air. There's no oxygen up there. So they're pumping oxygen. And going to a hospital, there's no smoking signs everywhere, because if flame hits oxygen, it'll explode. So you're telling me this jackass pilot killed all those people because he had to have a cigarette?
Mm-hmm. There's a flight from that was heading from Paris to Cairo. As he got up over, I don't think that's a very long flight. As he got up over the Mediterranean Sea, he decided to light a cigarette, and the plane made violent swerves before falling into a death spiral into the Mediterranean Sea. 66 people on board lost their lives, and he was one of them. And it was because he lit a cigarette in the cockpit.
What year was this again?
This is in 2016, May of 2016.
Oh my God, Jeff. That's why you fly, U.S. Airlines.
True.
I don't know if this would happen on a U.S. airline. I'm sure crazy stuff happens in those cockpits, but oh my God. And how do you, wait, I don't understand. Are you telling me the filtration is so good on airplanes that the guy up front can be smoking, even though all that air is getting circulated and you don't smell it in the back?
Let me see.
It's an FAA regulation. They say it every time you get on a plane. Don't smoke in the bathroom. Don't even try to vape, you son of a bitch. And you better not put chew in your mouth. How is chew going to blow up a plane?
Yeah,
Wow.
They just think that the guy was a chewer and not a smoker. Then we'd have a much different outcome, right?
All those people would be alive.
Or how about just
How
nicotine
upset would you
gum?
be if this was your family? If this was somebody from your family died on this flight? Wow, you'd probably be as angry as Meghan Markle's dad. He's hashtag getting ready to fly across to the pond. He's going to the Queen's Jubilee. Pretty
I
exciting.
really would like to meet with Prince Charles and thank him for walking my daughter down the aisle, and also just to meet and talk with him, because I think we have a lot in common now. We've pretty much both been ghosted by our children.
Yeah, now that's Meghan Markle's dad. He's an American. He does not like his son-in-law, though, Prince Harry. He wants to meet Prince Charles, but Prince Harry, he's not such a big fan of.
I have so little respect for that man. I think he's an idiot, and I'd take him on any time. He's like a child. He follows my daughter around like a child. He's not a man. You can tell me he was in the military. I don't believe it. I think he's kind of a wuss and always will be.
Yeah, so there you go. What do you think your father-in-law would say about you if I called him up right now, Jeff?
You'd have nice things to say about me, I would think.
Yeah, that's good. He wouldn't call you a wuss? He wouldn't say, I'll take him on any time? Like Prince Harry cares. Isn't care. Listen, loser, you're living in a trailer court somewhere in the South. We live in this mansion up in the Montecito Hills.
I thought you lived in Oregon.
You can choke it. Did they move to Oregon? Oh, Mr. Markle?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought he was in the South. No, you're right. I think you're right. I think he does live in Oregon. We're at in Oregon. Maybe I'll go by and see him. Seems like a hell of a stand-up guy.
Probably in the greater Portland Metroplex, because that's where people that...
Maybe I'll ask him if he wants to go squatching. Apparently...
Did you see that 54%
75% of it, I'm sorry, where is it at? 50, yeah, you've got it. 54% of people say they don't believe in Bigfoot.
Mm-hmm.
Idiots.
Yeah,
They're
they're dumb. You know what's sad? 19% do.
Now, here's the deal, by the
Truth
way.
in numbers, bro. Truth in numbers.
27 are undecided. So, you add that up, it's a pretty close poll. It's about 50-50.
Yeah, but
So,
the undecideds aren't all going to go to yes unless some kind of proof comes out, and there's never been proof ever.
Oh, there's all kinds of proof. Yeah, you just choose not to hear it. There's DNA proof. There's hair proof. There's all kinds of proof.
I
Bones
remember
that were found.
when those guys took the rubber outfit of.
Oh yeah, there's hoaxers everywhere. They're just trying to get their 15 minutes.
They put it in a
They're trying to
cooler,
become the
and
next Kongam style.
They traveled to Stanford.
They
They're
want to
like,
be Kongam
"See,
style and get a bunch of views on YouTube.
Here's the proof, and they're like,
There's proof out there.
This isn't a costume, bro.
There are scientists that have done studies that, they've taken DNA and said we can't explain this DNA. It's human, yet it's not human. This is DNA that has never been seen before on the planet. Hair samples, blood samples. There's lots. If you do a little research instead of just sitting here running your mouth, you would realize that there's actually a lot of research out there, and there's a lot of evidence that there's something.
The key thing that you just said was never seen before on this planet. It's just...
No, you've never seen it.
No,
Lots of people have seen them. Lots of people.
Oh, yeah, I know. Lots of people have. We've got all that proof. It's just sitting there right in front of us. That and the Loch Ness
Kyle
monster.
says somebody should have killed one by now, but if you saw something 10 foot tall in front of you and you had your 9mm or your 38 or even your 45, I doubt you would shoot it because you'd probably just piss it off.
All the kids are back.
You need a pretty big gun to kill something that
all
is
the kids are back to school.
10 plus feet tall.
There's no spring breaks right now because I think you're sniffing down the Tooth Fairy's trail too.
What? Spring break, Tooth Fairy? What are you talking about?
Well, I don't want to ruin the surprise for any kids.
You're close-minded.
No, I know. The Tooth Fairy and the
Tooth Fairy,
Bigfoot
we all know
hang out.
the Tooth Fairy, the story of the Tooth Fairy. We all know all those things. All right, it's fine.
But apparently,
Trust me.
you know the
You will have
story
the
of
proof
Bigfoot.
you look for before you die one day, and you will call me up and you will say, "I'm sorry, I made fun of you all those years." You will have the proof one day. One day.
Nope.
I have the proof. I know.
They've been
But
tracking this thing since
what
the
you
50s?
What you need. No, it's longer than that. It goes back hundreds of years, thousands of years. I mean, tribes. There's paintings of these things. What are those called? Those paintings in caves. I can't think what it's called right now. Yeah, petroglyphs. Native American petroglyphs go back thousands of years.
Yeah. And people disappear in national parks all the time, too. Maybe there's a correlation there, Jeremy.
Well, there's evidence that happens, too.
Yeah, maybe it's the Sasquatch or the Bigfoot or whatever the hell you call it, the Yeti. I don't know. Oh, I see the wheels turning. I see the wheels turning now. You're thinking maybe it is. Maybe I've tipped you off onto something.
I don't know why people disappear. I just know the government doesn't want to talk about it.
Ghosts, all that stuff. You believe in all of it. You're a fantasy. You like fantasy. I'm surprised.
Ghosts? I don't know.
I'm
I've never
surprised you're
seen
not a big Game of Thrones fan or a Harry
I'm not a
Potter
big believer
fan.
in ghosts. I believe there's energy. I believe there's a lot of energy that we don't understand. I don't know if they're ghosts, but I don't think there's a ghost like hanging out in my house right now.
Hashtag do something nice for your administrative professionals today. If you missed it, today is what used to be known as Secretary's Day. And, do something for them. Administrative professionals, I feel like the term administrative professional, it's a very high honor. Like, an administrative professional means you're high up in admin, right? Like, I feel like a lot of people hijack the day from secretaries. Like, if let's say I am head of HR for a very large company, okay? I'm an administrative professional, but chances are I have secretaries that do a lot of my work for me. But I have taken that importance away from them by saying, well, it's Administrative Professionals Day. I'm an administrative professional. I'm the head of HR for Google. I got secretaries that work for me, yeah, but I'm an administrative professional. So now you get to claim the day too? I think we were better off when it was just Secretary's Day, and I don't know what the hell was so offensive about the term secretary. Can you provide any insight on that?
No, we were talking about this earlier. Just, people want to justify what they do to make it sound a little better than it is, I guess.
But stick with secretary, because then you had the whole day to yourself. Now you got to share it with everybody else that's an administrative professional, which is a lot of people at a lot of different companies. I mean, I do paperwork. Does that make me an administrative professional?
It could, yeah. In some people's eyes. In other people's eyes, they would say, no, quit being insensitive, Jeff.
But then call it Secretary's Day, because then it would only be relegated to the secretaries. Anyway.
Coming up, Ron White. He's going to be at Vina Robles a week from this Saturday. We have tickets now.
93.3 KZOZ rocks.
Oh, yeah. Opening night at the California Mid-State Fair is gonna rock. 93.3 KZOZ welcomes Journey to the fair's grandstand stage, Wednesday, July 20th. Tickets on sale this Friday, April 29th at 10 a.m. Online only at kickassfair.com. Win tickets and fair admission. Get with Jeff and Jeremy at 8:40 a.m. for a pair. Grab a 4-pack on the 805 beer text line. Text FAIR to 805-543-3693. Journey live at the California Mid-State Fair.
There's a lot of people right here who want to see Journey.
Reminder, win this and you're in to win $500 in the KZOZ Big Gas Grab too. Full info at kzoz.com. Subscribe to the Jeff and Jeremy podcast now on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google, and YouTube. It's your Central Coast commute-friendly podcast.